Before President Donald Trump was the leader of the free world, he was a successful businessman with an impressive real estate portfolio. He still has many incredible properties throughout the United States which have become targets for liberals to take their hate out on him since the moment he announced that he was running for the White House. Now, they've sent Syrian refugees on their behalf to do their dirty work, and it just got really ugly. To stay at any of Trump's properties is a treat and a privilege which costs a lot of money. One of which that's lesser known than some of the towers across the United States, is in New York. It still comes at a premium rate of $725 per night, which was a small price for liberals to pay for refugees to stay there on a nasty overnight mission. A property which was rented out by one particularly disgruntled leftist group has very special meaning to the president and his family, which was why they picked it for the refugees' sickening mission. The Oxfam charity sent 4 Syrians news to America to stay the weekend, all expenses paid, with just one disgusting task they had to do while there. Trump's New York property picked for this sick assignment looks nothing like the multi-million-dollar resorts and hotels that have frequently been liberals' targets of attack. This one is a 3-story Tudor-style home in Queens, built by Trump's father, Fred, in the 1940s. Although it's the home that the president grew up in, it was purchased in March by an unidentified buyer for $2.14 million and has since been put on the vacation rental market via Airbnb for $725 per night. Oxfam saw an opportunity to send a disgusting message and took it the same weekend that Trump redefined his travel ban which targeted Muslim refugees. The Daily Mail reports. Oxfam has chosen to use the House to draw attention to the refugee crisis as the United Nations General Assembly convenes this week with Trump in attendance. Trump's administration issued travel bans on people from 6 unstable countries and all refugees in an attempt to boost U.S. security. After various court challenges, the Supreme Court last week allowed the restrictive policy on refugees to remain temporarily. The justices will hear arguments on the bans October 10. Of the 4 refugees invited to the home on Saturday, 3 were from countries listed on the travel ban, 2 from Somalia, 1 from Syria. The other is from Vietnam. We wanted to send a strong message to Trump and world leaders that they must do more to welcome refugees, Shannon Scribner said, who is the acting director for the humanitarian department of Oxfam America. This insult to the leader of our country who has done more for America in 8 months than his predecessor did in 8 years, goes even deeper than sticking it to Trump on the surface by housing refugees in his childhood home. It starts with the question of why this president's childhood home wasn't declared a national historical site, like many others before him were. It's a discredit to the man who holds the highest form of office and allows for opportunities to deface it and otherwise violate the history of it like what Oxfam has just done. What's sad is that this charity has now opened the door for worse to happen within these 4 walls where Trump grew up. Anyone with $725 can sleep where he did and leave a mark of how they feel about him. After it's all said and done, this historical venue that holds importance in our country could look completely different. Knowing Donald Trump was here at the age of 4 makes me think about where I was at the age of 4, 22-year-old Ayman Ali said, who is one of the Syrian refugees who stayed there this weekend. We're all kids who are raised to be productive citizens, who have all these dreams and hopes. To have someone so outspoken against my community become the President of the United States was very eye-opening and hurtful because I have invested a lot in this country, Ali continued. With all of the displaced American citizens in our country right now after 2 hurricanes slammed out soil back-to-back, it's disgusting to take the attention off their suffering and put it on people from other countries who are already being cared for within our borders. It's interesting that liberals have nothing to say about the outreach and support that our president has provided hurricane victims, but still want to harp on about refugees. At this point, the refugees have more than thousands of displaced people in Houston after Harvey.